Carbohydrates are usually found in fruits, vegetables, and grains, and are the main energy source for certain types of cells in our bodies, such as nerve cells and red blood cells. Carbohydrates can be divided into two groups: simple carbohydrates and complex carbohydrates. Simple carbs are also called sugars, and they exist in two forms: monosaccharides when they are composed of a single molecule, such as glucose and fructose, and disaccharides when they are composed of two molecules, such as lactose. Complex carbs are the ones composed of more than 3 molecules and can also be divided into two groups: oligosaccharides when they have between 3 and 10 molecules, and polysaccharides when they have more than 10 molecules. Glucose, which is a sugar, is the most abundant carbohydrate. It is stored as starch in plants, and in animals it is stored as glycogen. When we consume too much glucose, it is converted in our bodies into glycogen and is stored in the liver and muscles. When we are in need of glucose to fuel our bodies, we use the stored glycogen and break it down to form glucose again, which can then be used by our cells. Carbohydrates can either be glycemic or non-glycemic. The former can be digested and absorbed in the small intestine, which raises the blood glucose levels and therefore triggers the release of insulin to regulate the amount of glucose present in our blood. The latter are not digested and absorbed in the small intestine and therefore don't have an impact on blood glucose levels, such as fiber. A concept that is very important when we talk about carbs is the glycemic index, or GI. This is a way of ranking foods based on their immediate effect on blood glucose levels. So a high GI indicates a food that is readily absorbed and raises the glucose levels quite fast, and vice versa. Here is an example of some foods organized by their GI, from higher to lower: instant mashed potatoes, Rice Krispies, jelly beans, white bread, ice cream, white rice, and bananas. Fiber is a type of carbohydrate which is found in plants. It can be divided into soluble fiber, which dissolves in water and is digested by gut bacteria, and insoluble fiber, which is not soluble in water and just passes through the intestines without being digested. The consumption of soluble fiber has been linked with lower risk of cardiovascular disease and type 2 diabetes, and the consumption of insoluble fiber helps with constipation, regulates bowel movements, and reduces intestinal inflammation. And more, eating fiber also reduces the risk of colon cancer, obesity, heart disease, and it even helps lose weight.